And welcome to all you Leos. This is your monthly horoscope for the Leos for June 2016. Now, this is more of a hectic month with a lot of energy, a lot of dynamics. Certainly the first 2 weeks of the month, and then the later 2 weeks of the month are quite intense. So there's a bit of everything going on, and it will demand some of your flexibility. I know, okay, Leo is a fixed sign. But it doesn't mean to say if you have a certain temperament that that is, in this case, being a fixed sign, that you cannot adapt yourself towards a situation, because now the energies are very much scattered. So that means that you can be on a road for something and on the focus point for something, and then it changes, and then it changes again. So expect that there will be some things that situations can be a bit more hectic. Now, let's start with the new moon, because on the 5th to 6th of the month there is a new moon in Gemini. It's not just a new moon, it's actually so the sun and the moon together in Gemini, and it's in a very lovely house for you in the 11th house, but it's together with a little asteroid called Vesta. This is significant. It's conjunct that new moon, and Vesta is all about dedication, it's all about commitment. And you kind of like that, you Leos. Commitment, dedication, also a devotion to a higher purpose. So for those of you who are spiritual, this is a very interesting energy, because it's happening in the most future house of your horoscope. So what could that be? It's around that time, around the 5th or the 6th of the month, that there is a new beginning when it comes to maybe a friendship that you're very devoted towards. Or it can be an aspiration. Or both, because it's a seed that you're planting there. So there can be a new friendship that is going to be very meaningful in the future. It can also be that some of your aspirations that you did have are just, are just not there anymore, and there are new ones who you are immediately very devoted towards. So expect some new plans coming in and some new insights. And the 11th house is a really, really interesting house of there is where we plan and where we put our objectives towards the future. So you better dedicate yourself to a good plan. So that's good. But as I said, expect that what you had in mind now, or what during the month of June, can maybe change a little bit every now and then. And you will see the ultimate results around August, September time, when Mars and Saturn will be going forwards. So there is what we call a full square during that time. And a full square means tension, means challenge. But I've seen it always when I see it in a solar return, for instance, someone who's having a full square. It's always a year after that, or the ending of that solar return year, that a lot of people will say, oh my God, I changed a lot in that year, or I made a lot of changes in that year. And so it is with this full square. And for you, it's very much on your creative level. And that's what Leos are all about, because you've got this Jupiter in the 11th house of your aspirations opposing Neptune in your 5th house of your hobbies, your creative expression. So be very real, be very realistic. You may have dreams, absolutely, but if they are too big, they are going to clash with other energies, which is, I was wrong here. Oh no, I talked about Jupiter. No, it's Saturn in your 5th house. So who is actually restricting that? I thought someone was calling. No. So Saturn is a restrictive energy, and is the one that says, hey, is this a realistic plan that you're having? So you can expect the tension that you are going to have as a Leo is not, I think, really dramatic at all. It's more, if you've got some plans there for the future, great, but be sure that they are real. It's a bit like that. And Jupiter is in your 2nd house, Neptune is in your 8th house. So I was wrong there, mea culpa. This is again your value houses. So it's on the one hand, you could say your confidence is growing as a Leo. A lot of Leos are growing in confidence with Jupiter in the second house there, or learning a new to explore their talents. And it's very spiritual. It could be very spiritual as well. But at the same time, stay realistic. You know, it's that combination that I'm explaining between Saturn, which is the realist, and Neptune, which is the idealist. And it's when we have these squares, we must do a bit of time sharing. I already talked about that in other videos. So this is still ongoing. But again, for you, I don't think this is such a major thing, because it's not really in key areas of your life. So don't spend too much when it comes to your hobbies, right? And be realistic. And another thing that's very interesting for you, and I think is more important for you during the month of June, is Mars. Mars is in Scorpio, and that is in a key area of your life, which is your identity, your roots, what you're all about. And I made a separate video about that. I made a separate video about Mars and being in Scorpio, also being in Sagittarius, and it is called the drama triangle. And I'll put a link below if you are interested in this, because, you know, if there is a sign that is good in drama, I mean, on a positive level and on the stage, it is Leo. It is Leo, or people who have a strong fifth house. So even when you're not a Leo and you have a lot of planets in the fifth house, this is the house of the performer. This is the house of sharing your fire, you could say, being an inspiration for others. And so Mars is now in this area of your life that is all about your core identity. And the Mars is about your, in Scorpio, is about what is your hidden desire, or is there, in the intention that you have, in the actions that you do in your life, is there a hidden motive? Is there something that is beneath the surface that is not really pure at all and needs to be looked at? As I said, I made a video about that. If you say, well, yeah, I feel myself in a drama every now and then, go and check out that video. It might help. Or it might give you some insights to, you know. And so this Mars is going retrograde for the whole month. So it's only on the end of the very last day of the month that Mars goes direct there, in that house, in that fourth house. So some Leos might have moved already, and may have encountered themselves again through that move. So it's quite often when we move or when we change our environment that something has changed in us. And but of course, not all Leos are going to move. It also means that it's a good time to dig deep into, on a psychological, emotional level, and to look at your hidden motives. Are they always, you know, to look at yourself, basically, but doing that in a very private way, in a very trustful, secureful way, and finding your blind spots, because a lot of Leos are going to find, put light on their blind spots in June, because it's Mars in a water sign, in a water house. So you certainly are going to encounter some parts of you that you didn't know they existed, which is good, because then you know yourself better, and then you can have a easy life and a healthy, happy life. So last but not least, there's the Jupiter trine to Pluto, and that Jupiter is in your second house, so not in your 11th, but in your second house. And that's a repetition of something that happened in March. So Jupiter Pluto is all about growth, and it's all about permanent growth, you could say. So that was what I talked about, that Jupiter is in your second house of self-confidence, of money as well. So some of you will gain more money. It's especially around the end of the month, on the 26th, but it's a building up. You feel it the whole month. And for some of you, it's like you're feeling more confident, and there's nothing better than, you know, for every sign it's difficult to build up confidence. For every sign it's easy to lose confidence, and you are now building up that confidence, and it's permanent, which is nice, which is Pluto. That's the planet's connection with Jupiter. It's making it permanent and transformative. So I wish you a very good month, you Leos out there. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next month. Bye bye.